My brother asked me to make his dream desk on a tight budget, so these are the materials that I've ordered to build it. Some lengths of 2x2 and some 18mm moisture resistant MDF. And it's going to be a huge L-shaped desk to sit in the corner of his workshop. He couldn't find a desk available to buy that would fit his specific needs in terms of size and function. Once all the pieces for the frame were cut and labelled, I can start getting this thing together. So my desk base is going to be made up of two separate components, and the pieces I have here are going to make up the component that is more interesting, has more joinery. These here are my two back rails, and this is my single front rail, and I can use this to mark up the length exactly where I want to cut a half lap joint. And we're getting in early with the mistakes on this one, as I'm about to cut this half lap joint in the wrong place. What I should have done was used that front rail plus the thickness of the 2x2 to locate this half lap rather than just the front rail on its own. So we will figure out how to solve that problem later on. You'll see me making a terribly wonky cut here, so I'll have to resolve that with some chisel work. I'll need to cut another half lap here, and once that's all done, the rest of the joinery I'll be doing with the domino just to speed things up, as there are going to be a lot of joints here and I don't want any fixings to be visible. Now my plan was just to use glue and screws here, as these will be on the back, which will be against a wall. And once I'd screwed this together, that's where I realised the mistake that I mentioned earlier with the half lap in the wrong place. So I've just had to move this leg over by the thickness of the material to make sure that this gap is wide enough to accommodate a piece of furniture that's going to be in here. That does mean that the back leg and the front leg no longer line up visually, but no one's going to see that back leg anyway, so it's not a major disaster. I'd really like to be able to add another brace in between these two legs, but unfortunately that piece of furniture that's going in is quite tall. But if I add some fixings through underneath into the desktop, that will provide a little bit more support. Plus, my brother says that this desk is never going to be moved once it's in situ anyway, so it should be fine. Even though these screws are on the back, I'm going to fill them anyway. To complete this first component, I'll need a rail at the front, which isn't going to have a leg to support it, so I had to think about how best to assemble this with it basically floating in mid-air. And then I can start working on the second component, which is a lot more straightforward. And for a lot of these joints, I'll just use one domino rather than two, as there will also be more dominoes going in on the side of the frame, and I want to avoid those mortises hitting into one another. All of these dominoes will be going into solid wood. And as you can see, this component is basically just a simple table frame with no front rail at the bottom. You want to know what my favourite thing about my desk is? I know what you're thinking. It's bound to be that solid brass eagle, isn't it? But no, it's this, my Aura frame. Between the hardware and the high resolution display, it looks like a premium piece of decor rather than a gadget, and the real value is seeing memories of my loved ones throughout the day while I work. Aura's app makes it incredibly simple to set up, and once it's live, you can instantly send photos and videos directly to the frame from anywhere in the world. But the best part is that it's collaborative. I've given access to my wife and she can add new memories in real time. But now that she has seen how it works, she wants one for the living room, so it looks like I'm going to have to buy another one. Because the screen is specifically designed for photography, the colours and clarity are stunning. If you are looking for a gift, whether it's for parents, grandparents, or a treat for your own workspace, This is a thoughtful way to stay connected without any subscription fees or complicated tech. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.co.uk to get £25 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames by using promo code RAGANDBONE at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. With the glue dry, next I'm going to add a big round over to all the corners and get everything sanded. I'll need to tackle the areas that the router couldn't reach with a rasp file. I'll use India ink to stain the frame. No black or ebony stain that I've ever tried can compete with India ink for this kind of jet black look. I'll leave a link to this in the description for the stuff that I like best. So this is how the desk frame is going to sit together, and obviously I've made this in two parts because it's going to be easier for me to move this to my brother's house. And I'm going to need two long bolts to be able to join them together. These two should do the job. This is already pretty solid, but I am going to be adding some more noggins which will help to support the top. Just before I make the top for this, I need to bear in mind that a sheet of MDF is 1,220mm wide, and there's going to be a 50mm overhang at both the front and the back. So if I line up my tape measure here with 50, right here is where my join is going to be. So I want to place one of my noggins right here to support that join. Here I'll drill some pocket holes to fix the noggin at the front so that the screw heads won't be visible from the front of the desk. Now to make the L-shaped top, or at least what I can get out of a single sheet anyway. And I want a nice gentle curve where it meets the 45. Now from the offcut, I cut the piece that will join to the rest, and I'll use plenty of dominoes here as I don't want this join to crack or show through. I'll also add some filler here, and by the time this is sanded, primed and has a few coats of paint over it, it will be invisible. Now I didn't expect to get everything for this top out of one sheet of MDF, but that's what happened. Here you'll see I'm ripping some 110mm strips, and these will be used to double up the thickness of the top around the perimeter and also create some ribbing too. The aim here is to get it looking nice and chunky but without wasting MDF, and also without making it ridiculously heavy. And this piece, as you will see, overhangs at the front so that I can trim it down flush with the curve that I've already cut. This rib here is going right where the join is to give it more support. And again, a big round over for the edges. I got the bottom primed with acrylic undercoat and then flipped the top over to work on preparing the top of the top. Normally I'd use a roller here, but the paintbrush was already wet and this is all going to get denibbed anyway, and so the brush marks will never be seen. Speaking of denibbing, MDF edges seem to be a great source of frustration for many people, but with the right primer and some 240 grit abrasive paper, you can get the edges perfectly smooth and ready for paint with no raised grain furriness. For paint, I'm a big fan of this hard-wearing eggshell. It's really scrubbable and I used this on my wife's desk 5 years ago and it looks as good as the day I put it in. It got 3 coats in total. I could have denibbed between coats, but actually I really like this kind of stippled texture that the roller provides for a desk surface. It might be a bit of a challenge to get both the frame and the desktop in the car at once, and the sensible thing would be to do this in 2 trips, but I'm not feeling particularly sensible. One happy accident though is that one piece conveniently slots into the other. I always hold on to old packaging materials for jobs like this. Lifting this up on my own was not fun. Really should have been a 2-person job. I want to protect the paint as best I can, as even though it's dry, it takes 7 days to fully harden, and it's only been 1 day since I got the last coat on. All the while I was doing this, I was thinking, this is never going to work. But after adding all 6 of my ratchet straps, and also using gaffer tape at the front to make sure the wind couldn't get in, I felt confident enough to take it for a test drive. And it was absolutely fine. So there it sat overnight until the morning when I made my way over to my brother's house. This is where the desk is going to live, and before we can install it I also need to fit some shelves which I'd made out of the other sheet of MDF, which will be installed on some twin slot shelving for adjustability. My brother bought some special heavy duty wall plugs because behind the plasterboard there's a 15mm gap and then solid brick. These have a metal sleeve that sits inside the plug to bridge that gap. It was my first time using these and I was really impressed. So in with the shelves, and then in with the desk. Oh, look at that! After a spot of lunch, I have these stainless steel brackets which I can use to secure the top to the base. So this is my brother's workshop where he does computer repairs and all sorts of other electrical and technical wizardry. Thanks for watching.